Steven, guess who's at the door? It's Postman Fro. Guess what he's got? It's from Canon. It's a big printer. I need your arms here. I need your arms around me. Wait, that's a Cake song, I think. Anyway, I need your help. We need to carry this thing in. Okay, I'll see you. Bye.
So, Steven, do you know who came over to the studio this morning at 7:30 to help me with the new Canon printer?
Who?
John and his son, Lil John.
Yeah.
I said, John, can you can you and Lil John come over here before you have to go to my other place to do some HVAC stuff? And Lil John was like, okay. And so
from the window to the wall.
I needed, so the big ass Canon printer's big. It comes in a 405-pound pallet box.
What?
If you've been watching our Insta stories, you would have seen a bunch of Insta stories on us playing with the box and taking everything apart to bring it into the studio.
We were like kids.
Yes, I was a dick in a box, as Steven said, which is kind of true. I mean, that's a big box. It's almost 7 feet tall because my hair brushed the top of it, and by 7 feet, I really mean it's like 5 foot. It's like 5 feet 5 inches because I had to duck just a little bit to fit in.
It was a serious industrial cardboard box. That would take some effort to try and take that thing apart.
I haven't even tried to do that yet, but it would make for, we could take it over a couple of blocks to Frankfurt and Allegheny underneath the train tracks, and those people would, I mean, it would be a good home for a while.
It really actually would.
You could put
it's better than a tent.
Yeah, it could be better than a tent. You could just flop a window on it, and I mean, it is industrial. You could get a nice home out of that.
So when we moved from the factory to the new place, they literally used these industrial cardboard boxes that reminded me of this box. If anything, I think this box seemed more sturdy and more robust.
This would be a great box if they put wheels on the bottom of it with the pallet movers. You could have moved a ton of stuff. But alas, I have to break that box down. I didn't do it today. Today was the trash day, but I didn't do it yet.
I thought about using it for like a tripod collector, somewhere to house all the tripods, but it's too big.
It's 5.5 feet by like 3 feet.
It's big. Let's just say that.
I was trying to say I was 7 feet tall when in fact I am only 5'7" and 9 inches.
On a good day.
Wait, 5'7" and 9/10 of an inch. They think I say they say I'm under 5'8", and I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't care.
Every time someone sees you in person, they're like, I thought you were a lot taller.
Oh, you're a lot taller. I thought you were a lot taller in person. I wear high. I got high.
Yeah, your boots give you like an extra 2 inches.
They do. I like these boots, not just because of that, just because they're nice and sturdy. I don't give a shit how tall I am. Like, I really don't.
Do you remember when you would like force me to shoot from a low angle?
I like low angles, not to make me look taller. No, it's not to make, I just liked lower angles than higher angles. I just liked it.
I'd be like 1.5 feet off the ground.
I liked it. I liked it. Made my arms look bigger. Anyway, the printer is here. It's now up on the stand because Steven helped me carry it in. Just the head of it. It's probably 200 pounds.
I think it's more than
roughly.
That. Well, think about it. If it was 405 pounds, the entire package, the box and whatever came on top and the styrofoam is what, 50 pounds maybe together?
Does that count the wood pallet? It counts the wood pallet too.
The wood pallet wasn't that heavy. It's cheap wood.
I don't know.
Let's just say 100 pounds. Let's take off 100. It's still 300 pounds. I don't think it's 200. I think it's a lot heavier.
Steven, I deadlift 320 easy all day.
Yeah, and we both struggled picking this up.
No, you struggled picking it up. I had no problem.
I had to bring it up the stairs. I had the hard angle.
I thought I was going to go on the hard angle. I thought the bottom was where I was going to need to rest. I would have totally taken the other side and done the lifting because, I've got the muscles and the leg strength to do it.
AKA Steven does not have that.
Well, I mean, it's true, but Lil John and I made easy work of picking it up today, and it felt really nice. We got down there in a nice squat, put our hands under, lifted, got it into the thing. Now I need to screw it in, and I'm going to make some big-ass prints.
Yeah, once we lifted it, it was fine. Again, it was just the taking it up the stairs backwards. That was the hard part.
The good news about the printer is that I've let my friends know that are local, or anybody that's local, photo-wise, professional friends, that they're more than welcome to give me files to make prints. I'm going to use the Canon printer paper, not the paper that I spent money on, because if I spend money on it, I'm using the expensive Red River stuff that I want to use, the nice thick stuff. Mm-hmm. But Canon has sent us paper to use, and we will use it. They also sent us extra ink, but what I will say is that the cost of the printer is really not that much. So I'm going to go over here to look for it. Canon Pro 4600 is what we got. It is right now, after rebate, it's $4,216 at B&H. I'm sure, I don't think Brandon at Allen's Camera can get this, or I'm sure you could buy it directly. But right now it's showing $5,016, save $575, and then get an $800 mail-in rebate. Offer ends September 30th. So that makes it $4,216. Well, it comes with a full set of 330 milliliter ink tanks. And that's 12 ink tanks. That comes out to like $1,600 or $1,800. So the printer literally costs $2,200 without ink.
Not that bad.
So just think about that from a business standpoint. If you're a business and you are going to be making prints and you're making money off your prints, like if I was to sell a print for $500 and you sell 4 of those, I mean, you're basically paying for this printer really damn fast if you're an artist making money.
The question is, how fast does the ink go? Because that's where the cost is.
Yeah, that is where the cost is, but I will be doing more ink tests where I use they have the software that tells you exactly how much it uses. I put that up on Instagram on how much ink we used on the Trump print, and it came out to, what did I say it was? Actually, I think I still have it up here on the screen. It came out to, total ink cost for one of those 17 by 22 inches was $1.63.
Wow.
And the one that it used the most was blue. The reason is there was a lot of blue sky in that print, so it used 33.6 cents worth of blue ink for that print. It lists it from the most ink to the least ink. It used yellow, used only 2 cents or 3 cents of yellow, and it used 6 cents of red. So it's just telling you, it gives you a breakdown of all of it.
How often are you changing the ink on that Pro 1000? Because you print a lot.
I don't change it very often. I mean, there's not a lot of times where I'm changing the ink. If I'm doing the black cartridges, well, there's only like 4 black. So there's like light gray, gray, gay, GY, CO. There's a bunch of those, but they don't go that often. And those are the smaller cartridges in the Pro 1000. Mm-hmm. So what people need to realize is when they first get the printer, it like sucks the ink into the tubes and everything, and they're like, oh my god, I'm running out. But no, you've got all of that stuff is filtered and saved in there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm looking forward to making prints. I will let you guys know how much stuff costs, but for my local photography pro friends, I have no problem running prints off of it because Canon sent a whole extra set of ink cartridges, and the key is to make this thing run, and it runs fast. It's much faster than the Pro 1000. Per capita because of the size of the prints it's making. I know how good the other printer was. This is going to be gorgeous when we make prints. I got to figure out what to print first.
And we've always said the inkjet printers these days, they're so much better than just the chemical prints that you get from a lab.
Yep. So I want to bring up the Fund a Photographer thing. We posted, as you know, last week, the
first one.
The first one that we recorded, getting gear to someone, and it's great. I mean, it's going to help him out. He's already out there using this stuff. But I more want to talk about no other photo website posted about it. Now, you know those photo websites. You've got like F-stoppers, which I don't even count as a website anymore because they just take everybody else's stuff and make like one paragraph. I don't understand people that I haven't gone to F-stoppers in years. You've got like DIY photography, another one that no one even knows about. And then, of course, you've got Petapixel. And none of them posted about this Fund a Photographer project. And I know this because I asked the people at Canon, their PR people, to send it over there to see what they say. And they ended up saying, no, thanks. They don't want to post it. At least that was just the Petapixel doesn't want to post it. But the crazy thing is they love posting Chinese influencer falls off a cliff, dies taking a selfie, as if that has any redeeming value. They're big into posting bullshit that they think will get clicks. Or let's use surveillance cameras that you can control to take a selfie. Cool story, guys. But anything you want to add to that before I finish that one?
It's just a shame that it's such a positive message for the photo community, something that they really should post, and they tend to stick with negative stories, and unfortunately negative stories tend to get more clicks.
Yeah, but someone falling off a cliff is not going to get any clicks. Like, you look at it and you go, cool, nothing. But posting something positive is a bad thing. Now, this is more of a personal thing between me and the Petapixel people than anything. They don't want to post anything that I do because I talk shit all the time, and it's well deserved.
I was going to say, I mean, you do talk shit about them all the time on a very public podcast, so I kind of don't blame them.
I mean, it should talk shit because they do stuff like this. They will make it personal.
We're not talking about Chris and Jordan. Let's just
no, they're not Petapixel. They're hired guns. They're hired guns. They should be on their own. I'll just say that. I say that every time. They would be great on their own. But it's a personal thing between Petapixel and me. And I've said a bunch of things back to them recently about posts that they've been sharing that I'm just like, you guys need to stop doing this because it's bullshit. But anyway, they didn't post it, and we just want to bring light to positive things. It makes sense. You know, we talk shit, but share good stuff and not just negative stuff.
Love them or hate them. Jared Polin.
Nah, man, fuck that.
Fro.
Stop that love them or hate them bullshit. I don't want to hear that.
The beginning of every news story about you.
Used to be. I don't think they say it anymore.
Well, they just haven't posted about us.
That's true. And they won't. I think we've been banned from Petapixel unless it was negative towards us. I'm sure they would find a reason to post it.
True.
I guarantee you 100%.
And again, like, people love drama, people love controversy. Like, that stuff does get clicks more than a positive message. Even if we just posted this video on our YouTube channel calling it what it was, I guarantee it would have gotten no views. But we had to clickbait the crap out of it to really get the views, to make sure this video gets seen, because videos like this, a positive message like this, really needs to be seen.
Yeah. So when Steven and I were coming up with titles, I'm like, we need to make it literally, quote unquote.
I asked them, like, how clicky do you want to get? Because we can go to town, and not make it even seem like what it is. Make it seem like it's more about you. And I think that's
100%
what we did.
We know that works. But we know that when people click on the video, they're going to watch the whole damn thing. It's a positive message. If we just named it, Fund a Photographer Helps a Photographer Out, it would have gotten no views.
And I think if we would have put Jeff in the thumbnail with you, like showing, like pointing to gear that he got, I think that also would have gotten no views.
Yeah. And so that's why we do it. And that's fine. It would be bad if we did it and then there was no delivery, but whatever. That's what clickbait is. Clickbait is if you lie. We weren't lying. We just wanted to use a clicky title.
And I think the title still holds up when you watch the video. It's a new beginning for Jeff, for this young photographer, this aspiring photographer that needs gear and can't afford it. It's a new chapter in his life moving forward. And, thumbnail, it's a little clicky because it's just showing you in more of a serious tone. That I could say is on the edge of that clickbaity, scale.
We needed people to click on it, and people clicked on it. What's it got, like 80,000 views, something like that now? That's a good amount of views to get.
86,000, yeah.
86 it's up to?
Yeah, I think it's going to break 100 by the end of the weekend.
Well, that would be great. That would be great. If it ended up on Petapixel, it would get like an extra 600 views probably, because Petapixel, there is no Petapixel bump when it comes to posting your content over there. The views that Jared, what's his name, Chris and Jordan get, the views that they get are because they're Chris and Jordan. I guarantee you, if they weren't on Petapixel, they'd get the same amount of views. They bring more views to Petapixel than Petapixel brings to them by far. So whatever.
And we've got a couple more Fun Photographers coming out. We filmed a few actually that same day, and I will say those are very hard to film because they are real, raw, organic. Like, we bring them in thinking they're just going to be interviewed on camera, and then we surprise them with gear. And it's always hard to get a natural, real reaction and make it seem heartwarming, You just can't cheat. It's not like, hey, so I'm going to give you this, and I need you to have this energy. Yeah. It's just, you can't do that. And they all gave us different reactions. They all reacted in their own way. They're all going to make for great videos for sure. And it's, again, just a very positive message for the entire photo community. Love them or hate them. Love them or hate him. He's just an asshole. He doesn't do anything good for the community. He's always talking shit about other cameras, but then is proven right 4 years later that all the things he's been saying are right. And then people say, oh, but you were right. Yeah, you should have thought of that all the times you were ripping on me or leaving bad comments. Yeah. No, that's what I got to say, Steven.
let's move on here. There's some Canon rumor stuff, and they were showing a picture that definitely looks real.
Oh, yeah.
For the Canon 70-200 2.8. At the time when I was making Photo News Fix, they didn't have the white version up, but they were showing an internal zooming 70-200 2.8 from the Olympics that it could be 100% real.
And keep in mind, it's apparently a Z version, just like the 24-105 2.8. If anything, it looks like it's like the same housing, the same body as the 24-105, which we both said when we got that lens, this feels like a normal 70-200 body. The size, the length, everything.
It would be interesting if they thought of that. If they're like, you know what? We could really save on manufacturing if somehow we build the elements to work in this enclosure.
I'm curious to put them side by side when we get our hands on this supposed real 70-200 lens. And this is news to us. Like we saw this along with everybody else online for the first time. We know nothing about this 70-200. And I'm actually kind of surprised that this is out in the wild without us knowing.
And especially that they said that it was supposed to be out a few months ago or in June.
It would have made sense to release this with the 5D R5 Mark II and the R1. I guess it just wasn't ready yet.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but they showed a white version. I like the white version.
I think the black looks pretty sexy, but then again, the 70-200s for Canon specifically have always been white, and Sony. Nikon's the only one that always goes black.
I like the white with the white ring. With the red ring. I find that I don't like the black as much.
I just thought all of their Z lineup of lenses with the 24-105 were going to be black.
Stephen, that brings up a very interesting point about these lenses. The lenses have always been white, and now they want to be black. The black? They're going to be turning black? The lens was white. It's always been white. They've never said they've been black before. Actually, I think early 70-200 or 80-200 Canons were black.
Didn't it have to do with heat or something? Like the white coating was supposed to reflect heat and prevent lens warping or something like that?
The lens doesn't heat up as much or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good marketing. You could have that white lens on the sideline. Yeah, I mean, I always thought that they said that the lenses were white, but all of a sudden they're now saying they're black.
Or they're both. I mean, will we have a white and a black version? Because there are two pictures, although Canon Rumors is saying the white one could be a fake. So we shall see. They both look real to me.
That white one looks beyond real. Just look at the side of it with the
Z
silver
notches.
things,
Yep.
the Z notches
For the
and
power
the screws. Zoom. Look, if someone made that fake, they did a great job.
I agree.
Because that looks authentically real.
Now, I'm curious, is this going to be a replacement for the RF 70-200, which is the external zooming lens? Or is this going to live side by side as a more expensive Z version?
The difference is only $200.
Well, we don't know the pricing.
No, but if I was to guess, the 24-105 2.8 is $3,000. You cannot go over $3,000 for a 70-200 2.8. You just can't have it for more than $3,000.
Yeah.
Like, how can you justify that?
Then again, I mean, most of the 70-200s these days are $2,800, right?
Right. So make it $2,800. That's a lot. Or they'll make it $3,000, but the 70-200 current one is like on sale for $2,700, but is normally $2,800.
So the Nikon 70-200 is $2,700. The Sony is $2,800 for the G Master 2.
I bought that. I own that.
You did, and then the Canon is $2,700 on sale, $100 off. So yeah, they're all about $2,800 MSRP.
So they could do $3,000. They could do $3,000. I don't think they'll. I don't think they'll sell them both side by side. I think that the one will get phased out.
What did they used to be? $2,300 when it was for the DSLRs? Right?
Yeah, like $2,000.
It was more than $2,000.
Here, when I bought an 80-200 2.8 twist turn in like '99, or maybe when I probably bought that around '98, '99. It was like $900. I have the receipt upstairs still.
I'm looking right now at the Canon 70-200 version 3 EF, and it actually still sells for $2,100. So yeah, it was $700 less than what it sells for now for the RF.
We got a bunch of those for Fun to Photographer.
We do, and they're sharp.
It's amazing. They're amazing. That was a great lens. That was only out for like a short period of time.
Now it makes you wonder, though, would you prefer an internal zoom or an external zoom, since you're kind of,
The problem, I haven't used the 70-200 lately. It's always been awkward, the external zooming one that Canon made. It's amazing for travel because it collapses so
compact.
small.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it being external zooming and worrying about dust or any of that stuff.
That's what I've always questioned is the weather sealing from day one. It just didn't make sense being an external zooming that it's just as sealed up as a normal internal zooming lens.
Well, so that didn't bother me as much as the long twist zoom throw. The fact that it's just like a longer twist, whereas the 70-200 Sony is like a bloop, bloop, and you're all the way from 70 to 200. It's just so beautiful.
Real quick, speaking of the throw, I'm looking at the leaked picture, and it looks to be just like the Sony at this point, like a quick quarter turn for the 70-200, if that picture is real. It seems like they fixed that issue.
Anyway, we'll see which one of those lenses is real, if any of them. Hopefully we get our hands on them at some point to do it. Now, continuing on with Canon, I took the Canon R5 Mark II out to a Phillies game yesterday for the first time. I haven't offloaded the photos to check them out. So far, I've taken it to a soccer match, a political rally, photographing kids in the park. Now I'm photographing baseball. My biggest takeaway, the autofocus is incredible. The shooting speed, all of that is great. But I always come back to it's not a pro body. It's part of the reason why I bought a D2H back in the day is it was a pro body, right? It matched my F5. I didn't want an F100 body because that was smaller and plasticier. I didn't want a D100. I didn't want a D70 or any of those things. And the R5 is a great the R5 Mark II is going to be a great camera. It's fast, it's powerful, great video, great photos, 30 frames a second, all that stuff. It's still not a pro body. So if you are tougher, not even tougher on your gear, but you just use your gear a lot. I have a friend, he's considering buying one of these from Allen's Camera allenscamera.com /fro. He's thinking of buying one of those as soon as they come out. But I was talking to him last night. I'm like, you're a pro shooter. You have R3s. And he's like, will my buttons wear out of the R5 Mark II? He's like, my R5 buttons wore out. I'm like, yeah, you're hard on the camera. Not a bad thing. But do you like, and there's some bowing of the bat. There's some bowing of the ball. You don't get that with the R3, right? This was slightly slower readout speed.
Yeah, but you're talking like a millisecond difference. 5 versus 6 milliseconds roughly. It's not going to be much of it. I don't think you're going to be able to tell.
It depends. In some situations, I can fully tell.
Put it side by side.
Well, I will, but one of the ones that's going to be the best of the best, the only one that's not going to do it is the Sony A9 III, right? But again, that's a $6,000 body. Is it 6,000 or 6,500?
6,000,
right? Right. So that's obviously a lot more expensive. But I'm going to talk to him later about the pros and cons. He already has R5s, and if he wants it for studio work. But you already have R5s for studio work. You're not gaining that much for the studio by going to the new one, especially if you're using studio lighting. You're really not gaining that much.
So when you keep talking about it's not a pro body, are you simply talking about not having an integrated vertical grip, or the overall feeling, the ruggedness? Because it does have the magnesium alloy chassis and everything. I mean, we're looking at still a very pro body for sure.
It comes down to feel.
Throw a grip on here and you still think it doesn't feel like a pro body?
Yes, it's still, because it's going to be heavier than what a pro body feels like, an R3. I can't tell you what the R1
heavier.
I know it is. But there's just a feel to the buttons and a feel to the layout. There's a higher end feel. Now you're paying for that. But also remember, when you get an R5 Mark II, it's how much money?
$4,300.
$4,300. Another $350 for a grip. And then how much for a battery? Because you need 2 batteries to put in that grip.
The battery is $80, by the way.
Right. So you need 2 extra batteries, because I went through over a half of battery in just 4 innings last night of shooting. So I was under 50% within a matter of an hour and a half or so. So you're chewing up battery much quicker with that camera. And it's just, I'm not ripping on it. I'm saying it's going to be great for wedding shooters. It's going to be great for sport shooters who want it. But when you're used to using pro feeling stuff, I'm a pro body user. I just like the feel of the pro bodies in my hands.
So adding everything up, it looks to be, with tax, about $5,000 if you added a vertical grip with an extra battery and the R5 Mark II. So $1,500 difference between that and the R1. Also, double the megapixels, close to the same frame rate. Yeah, it's a slower readout, but I don't know. I personally would rather take an R5 Mark II over an R1, I think, for what I shoot.
That's for your type of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. When's the last time you shot a concert?
It's been a while. Pre-pandemic, I think. I officially got furloughed middle of the pandemic.
From the radio station.
And I think I shot a concert like 2 months before the pandemic hit. So let's say January or February, roughly, of 2020.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've shot a concert. Now, I've done a ton of events and family events and stuff like that. But yeah, paid work, no, it's been a while.
You know what show I could go to tonight and I'm not going to?
What?
New Kids on the Block.
Ooh.
This girl I know is on tour with them
Marky
as their
Mark?
photographer. That's his brother.
His brother.
Wahlberg.
That's it. Yeah, his brother.
Yeah. That's not Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. That's Donnie
the other
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
Yeah. I have no desire to go do that. Plus, I have dinner plans tonight at a new restaurant. So, I mean, yes, I could go and use the R5 Mark II and do more stuff with it, but it's just like, I have this thing already planned. Now, well, moving on.
It's been a while, though, since you've really pushed something in low light when it comes to testing cameras, right? It's usually like sporting events, stuff like that.
Yeah, sporting events, but even at concerts, unless you're at a really shitty venue, the lights are going to be great. This is New Kids on the Block. They're going to have very good lighting. They're going to have spotlights on them.
Where are they playing?
It's at the Man, and I hate shooting at the Man anyway.
Yeah, the Man usually has decent lighting.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so awkward shooting at the Man because you literally are right in front of the first row. Like, you're blocking people's view. It's very weird.
If they let you even do that.
I've done it a few times, and it's, yeah, weird.
Step by step, ooh, baby, gonna get to you.
I thought you were singing the step-by-step theme song for a second.
Step by step,
day by
day. Wait, who was in that show? Was that the Jessica Biel show?
No, that's Seventh Heaven.
Oh, that girl was so hot in Seventh Heaven. The other sister. What's Step by Step again?
It was just about step siblings coming together and living together, basically.
Really? Do you know who was hot back in the day? Wait, I got to look this up. Step by Step.
Yeah, Suzanne Summers
show.
was the mom. And then Patrick Duffy was the dad. And they basically had like 3 kids each and they lived together.
Isn't that the same premise as the Brady Bunch?
As basically every show back then, yes.
Oh. You know what my favorite show was? Not my favorite show, but you know who I had a crush on as a kid?
Who?
Vicky from Small Wonder.
Oh, I don't know that show.
Oh man, Vicky.
Wonder?
How old is she now? Just to make sure that I was okay to be saying that as a kid. What year was she born?
Oh, that's an 80s show. That's why I wasn't even born
yet. It's an 80s
yet.
show. Oh, she's a little older. Oh, she's 49. So I had a crush on an older woman. I was like, hey, Vicky from Small Wonder. So basically, my brain as probably like a 7-year-old was like, hey, there's a robot sister. Now, she's not your real sister because she's a robot and she lives with you. Do you know what you could do with her? Do you know what you could do? It was the 80s. You'd be like, this is my brain even as a kid. Even as a kid, I'm like, that would be so hot. We could go play
It's like weird
doctor.
science.
We could play doctor, Steven.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's right, Steven. We could play doctor. Steven, you want to play doctor? It's Mickey. Hey, it's me, Mickey, Steven.
See, I was a Topanga.
Can I check your blood pressure? No. Do you like Topanga? What'd you want to do to Topanga? Because you know what I would do to Topanga? I did invite Topanga to the castle, Cinderella's castle, and I was like, hey, Topanga, this is 50 Shades of Mickey. That's right. Bend over. Strap in. Get ready. 50 Shades of Mickey coming right at you. Okay, I'm done now,
Take
Steven.
it too far every time.
Yes! That was a good Mickey. I haven't done Mickey in a while.
So funny.
50 Shades of Mickey. Well, speaking of 50 Shades, when I shoot, if it's Steamboat Willie, it's only black and white. 50 Shades.
Okay.
You were a big Topanga fan? You had a crush on Topanga?
I did.
Did you say anything to her when you went to see her?
I still have a crush on Topanga. She looks great.
Yeah. Is she married?
Danielle Fishel, whatever her name is.
Is she married?
Yes.
Oh. I was a big Winnie Cooper fan. Danica Mick, whatever her name is.
Yeah. That was the other Savage Brother show.
Yes, Fred. And everybody said I look like Fred Savage when I was growing up.
I could see that. Actually, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Little Jared.
That's right. Little Jared. Fred Savage and I are basically the same age. I think. I don't know.
Did you ever see the clip where he's in Deadpool 2?
No, I don't think I ever saw Deadpool 2. Maybe I did see Deadpool 2. I don't know. I haven't watched a movie in a while.
It's him talking about Matt Damon and fighting him, but they keep bleeping the F word, so it sounds like he's saying the F word. I want to F Matt Damon. Look it up on YouTube. It's hilarious.
I'll do that. That's funny. So moving on, let's talk about probably what the title is about of this episode. Trump denied me access. He denied me a photo credential personally. I don't know that Trump personally denied me photo access, but a Trump rally is coming to not even Philadelphia. They're coming to Wilkes-Barre, which is middle central PA-ish area.
Good 2 hours away.
It's 2 hours away. They're playing Mohegan Sun, and by playing, I mean he's holding his rally there, which is kind of funny because there's some old. Anyway, it's a Indian reservation type thing, Native American, Native whatever, and he that's where they're going. So I applied for a credential. I went to their website and I asked to get on the press list and I asked to go for that. Then someone I knew yesterday sent me the link to apply for the event. So I applied for it. All it asks you for is your name, your phone number, what outlet you're working for. And in the drop-down menu, it didn't even have a place for a photo credential. It just was like TV, print,
online.
One said security. And I'm like, why is there an option for security? So it didn't have those options.
What outlet did you put? Fronosphoto.com?
Well, yeah, Fronos Photo.
Okay. I wonder if they're like, what the hell is Fronos Photo?
Well, I reapplied again after I was denied, and I put Fronos Photo with 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
There wasn't any place to put a description or to ask for more information. But I got approved for Kamala Harris. I didn't get approved for this.
But, the local town blog will get approved, but not you, just because they're a proper affiliated outlet.
I don't know what's going on. Like I have a denial email, but I don't have why. Now I got a bunch of messages from some people that are connected on the inside, and gave me a number to someone to reach out to who's the head of comms there. But I want someone to make a connection with them.
Sure.
Not me just reach out randomly like, hey, I was denied. Why was I denied? You probably should allow me to come to the show, the event.
I mean, I could understand to a certain extent just because, what is Fronos Photo? Like, who are you? Like, they probably don't know anything about you, or even though they should approve you because of what you do and the fact that you got into Kamala's rally, which, speaking of that, was it the same way? Like, did they just ask for an outlet name? Did you know somebody? How did you get approved for that rally?
I clicked on the link. Someone sent me the link to get it, and I put my information in, and they sent the approval back.
Did they ask the same thing, just outlet, and that's it, really?
It said, do you need satellite truck parking? No,
Yes.
I don't need a satellite truck, but maybe my ass does need special parking.
It's funny that they would approve you, but then Trump would deny you.
Yeah, Trump campaign. Let's just say it wasn't Trump himself.
You know what I mean.
That
Yeah,
I know.
of course,
I know. I'm just making it abundantly clear. Now, I went to go do it. Like, if it was in Philly, it would be much easier for me to go do than drive 4 hours round trip at least, which I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
I still might get approved for it last minute. I don't know. But I, people were like, why do you never shoot the Trump rally?
Yeah.
Well, I applied and I got denied.
trying.
And
Yeah.
it's not like I didn't want to shoot it. I wanted to photograph it, and I will go and photograph one if I get approved, because he's probably going to come near to Philly or the suburbs. I doubt he'll come into Philly because he's not winning Philly, but he'll win. He could win in the suburbs.
It's unfortunate when you take a picture of a political figure and talk about it from a photographic standpoint, about photographing the event as a photojournalist, and politics always come into play. I know, obviously, in nature, it is you're photographing a political figure. It is political to a certain extent, but it shouldn't go that way, especially when we're a photography channel. And it's a shame that you feel the need to have to shoot a Trump rally to equal it out.
Yeah. And I shouldn't have to feel obligated for the 12 people that are like giving me shit about it.
We're going to keep trying, though.
What I've always said is, if stuff happens in Philly, I know about it and I can get approved. See, people might think like, oh, you get approved for everything. It's like, actually, you don't get approved for everything. It's not like easy. It's not like I just show up and all of a sudden the doors open. They should, because do you know who I am? But they really should. They really do, though. For the most part, they do. Like, really, when I go over to my chair and I bring my big gold YouTube plaque and I put that down on the table, and they're like, they say, so here, I'm going to go to the Trump rally, guys. I'm going to walk up to the table and they're going to say, we don't have you on the list. And I'm going to slam down my YouTube plaque and I say, how about now? How about now? How you like me now?
Your grand idea has always been get a gold chain and make a giant necklace out of the YouTuber subscriber plaque and just rock it around Philly.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, that's a million plaque. That's right. Where's yours? You got a million plaque? Do you? Then shut the fuck up.
The irony is that you don't give a shit at all about the plaque. It literally sits. Where is it? Like, is it just randomly in a chair somewhere? I don't even think it's even hung on the wall.
It's in the egg chair. It's in the egg chair right now, and it's blocked by a bunch of pillows.
I remember when you got it.
Pillow
you
people.
Put it in the egg chair and then just literally forgot about it, and it sat there for years at the factory.
Where should I hang it?
I think it should be in your little office space somewhere.
Yeah, no, I can't put it back here, but...
I mean, it's a big accomplishment is what I'm saying, and that's the irony is that you really don't give a shit.
It's a number. We passed it. Cool. It took me 9 years to get there. Do you remember where I was?
If anyone hasn't seen that 1 million subscriber video, that's I think the main video on your channel page.
It's a great video.
It's a nice little like mini doc history lesson of Frono's photo, and
it's also a clickbait title.
It is very clickbait.
Is this the end of Frono's photo after 9 years? We had to do it.
I remember screen flowing Social Blade to get the 1 million number.
Yeah. Do you know where I was at the time?
I don't remember.
I was on a train on the way back from Washington, D.C. I'm sitting there on my phone watching it tick, and it hits 1 million, and I go like this. I raise my fists up in the air in my seat, and I'm like, did anybody know what I just did? Anybody? No, I didn't say that, but I just put my fist in the air, and then I was like, okay, it's done.
Once it passed 1 million, I'm like, oh, don't go backwards. Because, we constantly lose subscribers, too. Every channel does.
No. I think I've gained over 2 million subscribers in the history of the channel.
Well, I think you've lost like 700,000.
Well, we're at 1.4 some million.
All right, 600,000.
We definitely have lost, but that's how YouTube is. Dead accounts, accounts that close, fake accounts that we have no control over.
Like if you ever look at a video on the back end, it'll tell you the subscribers that were gained, but it just tells you how many were gained at the end of the day. So you might have lost 20 subscribers, but gained 30. And it's just saying you only gained 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's constantly losing and winning. It's always an ebbs and flows, up and down.
The moral of the story is I was not approved. I was denied twice for a credential. I tried. That's all I could do.
Oh, so you did actually apply twice.
Well, I went and reapplied to try to type more information in, and that denial came instantly, basically.
Weird.
Within minutes, I was denied again.
You think they would just do a little bit of research? Like, let me just see who is Jared Polin. If you Google your name, obviously everything comes up. Or just FronosPhoto.com.
I don't know. Maybe I'm on a list, Steven.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm on a list. You never know. You never know. I want to move to the credit card fee thing that pissed me off this week.
Here we go.
Yeah, well, things piss me off.
Do they?
So I go to a new restaurant. It's a pho place, and I like pho. So I go the one day and by myself, and I'm just going to get some lunch. And they don't have a bowl of pho, but they have a little cup of pho because their main thing is like banh mi. It's like banh mi spot or whatever it's called. And they have all their stuff listed. They have the board with the menu. They have physical menus. And you know what they don't have on anything? They don't have pricing. They don't have pricing on the menu. They don't have pricing on the board. I get the small cup of pho. I think it's like $6. At least I think that's what they charge me. And that's fine. The pho was very good. But I'm like, what about a bowl? They're like, well, it's really for people that if they want to dip their banh mi. I'm like, and the waitress was like, yeah, it's telling the manager, we've had other people ask for a bowl. I'm like, charge $15 for a big ass fucking bowl. Yeah. And they're like, well, we don't really have space. I'm like, oh, you have space. The place I used to go called Stock didn't have space. So I go and I try it and I get the pho. The pho's fine, but I don't think much of it. I pay for my 1 cup of pho because I wanted to try it out. And I go back the next day with a friend because I want to get 2 phos, a little bigger, and I want to get the spring rolls. And so I'm going there. I order. And she's like, it's $23. And I'm like, wait, can you give me the breakdown of that? Remember, they don't list their pricing. It's fucking stupid.
That is weird.
So she's like, well, it's $7 for each pho. So that's $14. And it's $6 for the spring rolls. I'm like, okay, so that makes it $20. How do you get to $23? Well, there's tax. And then there's the 59 cents for the credit card fee. I'm like, no, there's not. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you can't charge 59 cents for a credit card service fee. Like, Absorb it. That's the cost of doing business. Why are you passing that along? And you didn't tell me that it was there. You just added it. You didn't let anybody know there's nothing here. They're like, well, you could pay cash. I'm like, who the fuck pays cash anymore?
Yeah.
They didn't even have change for someone who had a 20, so don't tell me to pay cash.
Really?
So they're sitting here passing the 59-cent thing along, which is bullshit. Absorb the goddamn cost. Beyond that, I said to the manager, I'm like, you have to show your pricing. What is the benefit to not showing your pricing? Do you think I'm not going to eat here because it says $6 for that spring roll? I want to know how much I'm paying. I don't want to just randomly be like, I want this, and this. She's like, well, other restaurants. I'm like, it's fucking stupid. You list your fucking prices. You're a restaurant.
I just don't understand what is the benefit of not listing the prices, minus they can just change it whenever they want.
That's what I'm saying. Just list your pricing.
It's not going to turn people off unless it's an astronomically high pricing, but I don't think a place like that would have crazy pricing.
No, you just put your pricing on the board. Put it here. Oh, and so I did some reading to see if passing the credit card fee is legal or not. So here in Pennsylvania, it says Pennsylvania does not have any regulation that prohibit businesses from charging credit card surcharges. However, businesses should be transparent and disclose these fees to consumers in advance. If a business doesn't disclose the fees or what they are for, it could be a violation of the PA Unfair Trade Practices and Consumer Protection Act, the UTPCPL, Stephen.
Oh.
For example, a business that charges a surplus for a credit card but does not for debit cards could be considered an unfair practice under the UTPCPL. That's one thing. And then I also looked it up for the country, and it says credit card surcharges are legal in most U.S. states, but some states and territories have laws that prohibit them. For example, as of June 2024, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Puerto Rico do not allow merchants to impose surcharges. However, a 2017 Supreme Court ruling held that surcharges are protected free speech for merchants, and more states have adopted a pro-surcharge stance since then. Businesses that do charge surcharges must follow certain rules, including informing customers.
How are
which they never do.
surcharges protected free speech?
Well, that's, bullshit for one. That's protected free speach. How is it free speech to for me
to impose
it's called
an extra charge?
The Biden administration is working on junk surcharges. What is it? Biden junk fee something. I'm going to Biden wants free for you those subscriptions. Yes. Basically, they want to get rid of extra junk fees, like when you're flying an airplane and you're not actually flying, but they want to get rid of the extra baggage fees and concert tickets. They want it all just included. This is the price.
I was telling you this the other day. I bought tickets for Third Eye Blind and Yellow Card. 3 tickets. They were $75 each, and then there was a surcharge of $25 for each ticket. I literally paid an extra $75 in just additional fees. It's insane.
So this is what was proposed by the administration. The FTC is proposing a rule that, if finalized as proposed, would ban businesses from charging hidden and misleading fees and require them to show the full price up front. Oh, okay. I remember why. Remember when I flipped out on the people in Boston when they added an extra VIP fee, a daily VIP fee of it was $72. They added $35 plus tax a day.
Yeah.
That's really where it's coming down to. The recovery tax, the local tax, the other bullshit tax, all these fees, local recovery fee, they add it to all of the hotel bills after you check out. So they don't tell you about it. They're trying to make sure that shit's transparent. I've always said, just make the cost of the room without telling anybody that all this bullshit. Just charge what you want to charge. It's like me I charge $1,000 for the boot camp. That's like me saying that the credit card fee of whatever percent that I owe, the $20-$30 that I'm charging you for that, so I need to charge that surcharge plus fees. It's $1,000 for my ticket because I want $1,000, but you have to pay the fees. I pay the fees. Why wouldn't I? It's the cost of doing business, asshole.
Yeah.
I'm not calling you an asshole, Steven.
Oh, I know.
But I am. You're an asshole, Steven. That's right.
So funny.
Steven doesn't love Mickey. So anyway, It's bullshit. Do you guys agree with this or disagree with it? If you disagree with it, you can go fuck yourself. I didn't say that. Mickey said it. You said it. I'm looking for the phone number. What's the phone number, Steven? 313 something. I can't find my phone number paper anymore. 313-710-9729. You can text us. We do respond. Steven responds. I respond.
Not to all of them, but sometimes.
No, not to everybody. If you're asking me dumb shit, I'm not answering. And sometimes there's just,
Which
but
is
there's
a lot
not
of
that
the time.
many. But there's not that many messages. So if you want an easier way to get in touch with us, that text line is the best
Direct
way for us to
contact.
see your stuff.
Yeah.
Sending me messages on Instagram, I don't see them. Facebook, I don't see them.
Facebook especially. There's so many people that send us messages on through Messenger, and we don't see any of them.
No, I don't. I have an autoresponder that says, don't, I'm not reading these.
It's mainly because most of the time it's like, can I get free gear? Give me free gear, that kind of stuff.
Which also brings us back to the fund a photographer thing. I do not accept unsolicited emails from anybody. I don't care if you're 14. I don't care if you're 40. I can't just accept emails from people. Like, I get these emails like, hi, I'm not sure if you'll read this. I saw that you did fund a photographer. Man, I have a 90D and I would love if you could get me a better lens.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, no. Like, no, you have a camera, you have a lens, work on it. It's just, if I start doing that, it becomes overwhelming because, yes, these stories are very heartfelt, but also I can't just sit there and be like, okay, you get a camera, you get a camera. I need other ways of doing it. And so there's other ways that I have for doing it. And that's what I have to say about that, Stephen. Mm-hmm. Okay. The other thing that I want to finish up with here is deception in photography needs to stop. Deception. This was brought up again because Google just released their new Pixel phones, and there's a lot of AI features. The Add Me feature is one that they added, which if you want to take a group photo, but you're not in it and you have no one else to take it, you could take a photo and then you can have someone else go in and take the photo of you standing there, and then it meshes it together.
Which I think is actually a pretty interesting feature, and I don't mind the use of, I don't know if you want to call that AI or not, because it just basically merges the photos after the fact and makes you look like you were part of that group photo.
Yeah, I don't care about that one as much as any of the other AI features. The ones where they depict people standing on a hill and they're like, well, we don't like the way the sky looks. So then they put in a realistic looking but fake sky that is not real. It's deceptive.
When they're changing the subject matter and changing the context of the entire image, that's when it's an issue.
My take on the whole thing is that people do this because it's vanity. They're vain.
Yep.
They think they need to show off and everything needs to be polished. This has been going on forever. It's not just in the social media era, but it's been exacerbated by, it's happened in magazines for all of history where they airbrushed the female form or they airbrush things out of frames, right? That's been happening. But the whole unrealistic depiction of reality is my problem. So it's all vanity. We need to get rid of this depicting things that aren't actually there. The deception in photography needs to stop because the amateurs that see this then come to professionals and be like, well, can't you just replace the sky? Can't you just take it out later? Can't you just use AI to replace it? Can't you make me look less fat? And it's like, no, like I can't do that. This is who you are. And that's why, so I don't crop. We already know this. During weddings, when people used to ask me, well, could you Photoshop my tattoos out? And I'm like, no. Like, one, why are you covering tattoos to appease someone in your family? They're your tattoos. This is your body. It's your choice. It's your body. It's your choice.
I will say I don't have a problem with removing blemishes, pimples, stuff like that. That's not normally there. But tattoos, removing them, that's a little far.
And that's where I was going to go. On a wedding day, if a bride shows up and she has a pimple that showed up out of nowhere, that is not something that is always there. I would have no problem taking that out of an image. But if you want me to change something that is physically who you are, I'll give you another case in point. I'm at the dentist the other day, and I've got the tetracycline stains on my teeth, which really pissed me off because it just like, it makes it, I don't like it. I don't like that there's a yellow stain there. I make videos, they're there. It's like, I don't hide it. But it's one of those things like, I don't like to smile because I don't like it. And I don't want people to have the perception that, oh, he doesn't take care of his teeth. We always like went to the dentist every fucking 6 months as a kid.
Yep.
We like up on that. Dental care has always been a major focus for my parents. It's always been like, you need to take care of this. This is very important. And so, yeah. So I'm at the dentist the other day. Oh, by the way, the tetracycline thing was something they gave women in the 70s and 80s. And what happened is it caused staining it would go through the mother's body into the womb, end up in like your bones, and end up coming out of your teeth, which was whatever.
Yeah.
So the doctor's like, well, we can put veneers, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, is it cosmetic or is it medical? If
That's cosmetic, 100%. Yeah.
I'm not doing it. And I knew the answer. But that was like back in the day, 20 years ago, they're like, oh, we can bleach it. We can do this. I'm like, is that going to weaken the enamel? They're like, it might. I'm like, then I'm not doing it. I don't need vanity. I don't need to do something that's cosmetic just because the norm is you have to have the brightest, whitest teeth in the world, which my brother got. I didn't. But I'm not going to do anything that is cosmetic. If it's medical, it's a different story. Right? Like a boob job. Not a big fan of boob jobs. I, in fact, like little boobs. I'm a big fan of smaller boobs. I don't care. You don't need to get a boob job. I know people that have gotten boob. Like I've taken photos of people naked and then they've gone and gotten boob jobs. And I'm like, but there was nothing wrong with your boobs.
Yeah.
I know one who got a boob job and a nose job at the same time. And to me, it's just like, if you worry so much about what other people are going to think about you, I get some people do it because it makes them feel better.
Exactly.
But really, and I got to be careful here.
I mean, that's you with working out, although it does benefit your body obviously as well. But you wanted to look and feel bigger and better.
I wanted to feel bigger and better, but that's a confidence thing.
But that's what I mean. It makes you more confident on camera. You feel better about yourself.
Well, it did up front, and really working out for the last 16 plus years is the reason I own so many properties.
Just that reason alone.
If I didn't have these arms, I wouldn't have made this money. Seriously, if I didn't start working out, I attribute working out to my success on the internet, putting me in front of the camera.
That's what I'm saying. It came down to a confidence thing. You weren't confident in front of camera the way you looked. And then as you worked out, you became more confident. It comes down to a self-conscious thing at the end of the day. Just like these people are more self-conscious about their boobs and whatever else. It's different for everybody. And unfortunately, people give into those issues.
They do, because they worry about what other people are going to think.
Yep.
Instead of being happy with yourself in some situations. I think fitness is super important. But I like little boobs.
Just want to reiterate that one more time.
I like little boobs. I don't care.
So back to the AI stuff and removing blemishes, stuff like that. I actually just took a photo for Hannah's first birthday party this weekend. I wanted to take a picture of her in the backyard celebrating, being 1 year old, whatever. And it's a watermelon themed birthday party. So I set this whole little scene up in front of the tree and I had a little blanket out for her. And I wanted to take the picture so the blanket was nice and flat and straight across the board, across the frame. Unfortunately, the blanket did not go across the entire frame, so I did have to use generative fill to extend it to the edge of the frame. Personally, I don't think that's fully manipulating a photo, like changing the entire scene. That's more just aesthetically adjusting it to make it more pleasing for me with my OCD. And obviously, I removed blemishes from her face, like her baby acne. She had some spit and stuff like that. I cleaned that up. But for the most part, that to me is just kind of your normal photoshopping for most images. I'm not going in there and completely changing how she looks or changing the background, all that kind of stuff.
Well, you did change the background in Disney, right?
I just removed the light poles, yes.
Oh.
I removed the distracting elements. I didn't add a castle behind her.
There's personal use stuff, and you had a vision and you did it. I don't have a problem with that. The biggest takeaway is the problem with people doing it for vanity and show off purposes.
Agreed. And I will say, I did, just out of curiosity, the blanket, you'll see the picture. I'll post it on Instagram probably this weekend for people to look at. But
S_Eckert.
S_ECKERT on Instagram. I wanted to extend the blanket all the way to the front of the frame. You'll see that there's a little strip of grass in front. I wish I just pulled the blanket out more. I didn't. Out of curiosity, I went to Photoshop and tried generative fill.
Genital fill. I tried genital fill on a dick pic once. Holy shit. You should have seen what happened. Me too, Steven. I tried genital fill on Minnie last night.
And it literally added feet on her. It added
little
feet, little piggies, because she's sitting and the blanket's kind of covering her toes. It added feet that looked kind of real. And I could have went with that picture and completely changed how she was sitting, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Even though I did like the framing better because the blanket was extended throughout the entire frame, the front of the frame.
What time's her birthday party?
It starts around 2:00.
How long does it go? And will there be cake?
Probably 6:00 is when we'll wrap things up, most likely.
Oh, what if I get back in time?
You could come by. It's going to be family and,
I don't care.
Little kids
you
in the pool.
You have like 800 family members.
Dude,
wait, in the
90
pool?
people coming. 90
in the
people.
pool? You don't have a pool.
No, it's at my parents' house.
I've never been to your parents' house. I want to see your dad's Lego collection.
Come by.
Send me the address. If I can, maybe I will.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a 45-minute drive from where you're at. They're about 10 minutes away from me, and I'm about a half an hour from the factory. So,
well, I'm going down the shore for another 5-year-old's birthday party.
Oh, you're already going to be down the shore. Okay, well, that's same thing, about 45 minutes from the shore.
But I may have to drop someone else off who's going with, if they decide to go with me to the birthday, if I'm not going to the Trump, if I don't get approved for the Trump rally, which I really don't want to go to the Trump rally. I really want to wait till he's like closer to Philly and then try again. But there's cake?
Yeah, of course there's going to be cake.
What kind of cake, though? It doesn't have jelly, does it?
I actually don't know. No,
does it have jam?
If it has jam on a cake?
Oh, my God. People put jam in as the middle point of the cake.
That's weird. No, that's definitely not how it's going to be. I don't recall what cake Nicole got, but it's probably just your standard, I don't know, vanilla or chocolate or something like that. But just back to the picture of Hannah, like I've always said, it's so hard to take photos of infants or toddlers or newborns, whatever it may be, because it's so hard to get them to look at you. And this time, I did not do a head swap at all, like I did for the Christmas photos.
You also didn't do pre-shooting.
I didn't do pre-shooting either. I shot with the R5 Mark II. I got her to look directly at camera and laugh and smile, but it also took about 600 pictures to get that one shot. So if you just keep at it, I'll actually insert some security footage here of my backyard camera because that's where I took the picture. You just hear her screaming. We did 2 sessions. The first session, she screamed for 30 minutes, couldn't get a shot off. We let her nap, came back for a second session, and she was thankfully all smiles at that point. So it's so hard to take pics of kids.
Am I printing them today?
I think so. I'm going to probably send some over. I edited a bunch last night, so.
Yeah, I told Steven I actually ordered in 4x6 and 5x7 paper to use for my 4x5 project, just to try it on the Pro 1000 so I could make some prints for him.
Yeah. I actually, the lighting was so harsh too, because we shot in full sun at like 2:00 in the afternoon. I had to make a makeshift scrim out of just like a giant sheet from our bed to soften the light, and it worked out well. It looks really good. And I used Mount Airy preset from Fropack 3.
Mount Airy's good. Mount Airy's good.
Yeah.
Moral of the story is what Steven did is fine, right, for his personal use and putting it on his wall. The deception and idea that you need to make everything different to show off. I don't like the swapping. I don't like, so you know me, I don't crop. That's me. I'm not going to change the sky.
You don't even like touching up faces at all. I mean, you pretty much, it is what it is. You got a pimple that day. It is what it is.
I'm more of this is who you are. Be okay with it. I'm not gonna like use liquefy. I'm not gonna stretch your, push your waist in. Like, I'm not gonna do anything because this is who you are. Be okay with it.
I took pictures for a band. This is going back, I don't know, 10 years at this point, and he was so self-conscious about his weight, and I had to go in there and liquefy and probably shave off 40 pounds, and I was not okay with it at all, but he just would not accept the photo. He's like, I don't look that big normally. I'm like, you do though. That is how you look.
Do you know what? You know how I ran? You know when I ran into this situation, and it wasn't in weight or anything. Maybe I won't say the artist, but this artist always says something like, "Can you Photoshop this or Photoshop that?"
Yeah.
And this artist did have plastic surgery more recently than when I knew them, and it came to the point where we got on the phone, and he's like, "I love these photos, and I really am happy with them, but can you Photoshop X?" And I turned around and said, "You know what? I don't Photoshop anything, but you are more than welcome to take the image and do whatever you want with it. And their manager chimed in because actually I started off with, I'm like, look, I think you look great. I see absolutely no, I think you look fantastic. I think these all work great.
Yeah.
But if you really feel like you want to touch it up, by all means, go for it. And the manager's like, I agree with Jared. I love it. But the easiest way for me to diffuse it was do whatever you want. It's out of my hands at that point. I wouldn't do it personally for my own work and for my own presentations. But if that's what they want to do, it's just easier for me to say, go do it than create a big deal out of it. It's not worth the argument.
Do you remember when I took headshots and portraits of all the radio station personalities for the cluster for Philly? And I, as a joke, shaved off maybe 100 pounds on one of the person's photos. And they actually ended up using that as their main photo across all social media platforms because she complained about how she looked with her weight. And unfortunately, she's just a bigger, heavier set person. And I was like, well, I can go nuts and do something like this and like joking around. And she ended up using it across the board. And I'm like, it was a joke.
No, but that picture should have been used as motivation. But she did lose weight at one point.
She did.
And she probably felt better too.
Of course.
At that point.
Yeah.
But
that's something I will never do again. That's the point I want to bring up.
Well, that's the thing is don't do it. Like if customers come and they're uneducated and they're like, can you do this? Can you do that? Because they're used to seeing AI or replacing shit or taking stuff out of the background. The answer is like, no, I can't. Go find someone else. You can find someone else who will do it, but I'm not doing it. There's ethical standards to uphold. So I'm not a big fan of all the new AI tech that's doing that stuff. Now, here, Stephen, let me just say this. In graphic design, it's a different story. When you're getting into graphic design or illustration or digital art, that is different, but don't try to pass it off as real. So we are going to wrap it right there. I have to go play with the printer and do some other stuff. And anything else you want to add this week, Stephen, to episode number 114?
We do have an R5 Mark II raw file review coming out soon, and there's some interesting findings in there. So I would definitely check that out when it comes out. Yep.
Maybe this weekend. All right, guys. We appreciate you listening to 114. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening. Jared Polin, photo.com. See ya.
Bye.